Good evening, Hawks fans, and welcome back to another episode of the Atlanta Sports District. I'm your host, Russell Spence, coming to you directly after a 126 to 111 loss to the Miami Heat. This was a okay game with a horrible fourth quarter led by some more atrocious coaching decisions. So, let's get into how that unfolded. First of all, the offense sputtered to a halt in the fourth quarter, but overall the offense was pretty good. Trae Young played quite well in this game, and so did Jalen Johnson. Other than that, we shot the ball at a decent clip for the majority of the game. We had a few players who desperately struggled, and we'll get into that in the player-by-player portion. But overall, the offense was not the problem. We had 3 quarters of really wonderful offense, and again, like I said, it sputtered, and I truthfully believe that was because of coaching decisions, similar to last game when the offense sputtered in the fourth quarter, mostly due to coaching decisions. So, defensively, we were awful in the second half, pretty much the whole second half, but really bad in the fourth quarter. Now, we had certain players that played very well on defense. I thought Dyson had a very good game on defense. He had a couple of uncharacteristic of himself, going for steals that he shouldn't have, that caused him to get a little bit out of position. He got scored on a few times, but in general, he played quite well on the defensive end. Mo played well on defense. We had a pretty good defensive game from Zach, and the rest of the roster played horrible defensively throughout the entire game. Another game where, again, if you give up 126 points with relative ease, with them trying to slow the game down at the end of the game, you're really going to struggle. Really bad. You're going to lose a lot of games in a row. And we're going to get into what's upcoming for the Hawks later on and why I think that you may see Quinn Snyder be fired very soon. So, let's move to the player-by-player, because that's where we're going to get into the fun things that happened in this game. Starting with Asa Newell. Asa played 12 minutes. He had 2 points on 1 of 2 shooting, 3 rebounds, a turnover, and was minus 13 in the game. We're going to get into these interesting coaching decisions. As I've been saying for multiple weeks, Asa Newell is not ready to contribute to winning basketball. He is not good yet. Notice, I say yet. I still believe in the long-term potential of a player who's almost 7 feet tall with this much skill and this much athleticism. I get it. But at the end of the day, you cannot play a player who cannot get stops mentally. He has no earthly ideal where to be. And yet we still put him out there every game to watch him get blown by, to watch him get absolutely eviscerated mentally, to watch him not know where to be, getting beat on back cuts, not being in the right place, not boxing out, not doing the things that good players do. Congrats. You're taking a 19, 20-year-old kid and you're ruining his mental fortitude by sticking him out there in an opportunity where he has absolutely no chance to get it done. Every game he's on the floor, he gets killed. What do you think that does to a player's psyche? We cannot continue to play him, not only because it hurts the main club, but it hurts Asa. He's not ready. It's like if you took a toddler and put them out and said, okay, here, toddler, drive a car and don't die. That's what we're doing to this kid. Got a secret for you. If you took a toddler and put them behind the wheel of a car, every one of them is going to die. Well, when you have a rookie who's this unprepared coming into the league, it's not something the Hawks did. It's prior to coming into the league. He just has never played true NBA level defense. And if he hasn't, nobody his age has, because he played at Mount Vernon, he played at Georgia, 2 wonderful programs for developing talent for the NBA. And guess what? They're still not the NBA. It's the reason why I talk all the time about how if I was telling a player in college, they have offers to go either and stay in college and make money in college, or to go as a 19-year-old kid into the draft, I always say, go into the draft, because you never will get the same teaching at the college level that you will get in the NBA. And so that's what I want for Asa. I want him to get the coaching, but you can't keep putting him out there because he's not ready. He needs to get the coaching in the G League where there's no repercussions if he screws up. If the G League loses every game, we don't care. We do care if the big club does not win games. And right now, we're really struggling. Again, I would not play Asa a single minute. Not one. I would play him in every G League game about 30 minutes a night. And let him get 30 minutes of reps playing defense. Moving on, Keaton played 3 minutes. He had no points on 1 shot. If you have a player, you play for 3 minutes, just give those minutes to somebody else. Why are you doing that? He played a little bit at the beginning of the second quarter and a little bit at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and both times he got run off the court. He was -2 in 3 minutes, but that was not indicative of actually how he played. In the fourth quarter, it was so bad that he was in the game for like literally 30 seconds before they were like, somebody get out there and get Keaton. I think it was Jalen that went in. But they just immediately pulled him. They're like, we can't keep him in the game. Gotta go. If you gotta play like that, don't play that guy. Give the minute to somebody else. Why are you playing a 10-man rotation when 3 minutes are going to one player? That makes no sense. Next, we'll talk about Mo Gay. Mo played 11 minutes. 1 less than Asa. He had 4 points, 2 more than Asa. He didn't attempt a shot because every time he attempted a shot, they fouled him. He had 5 rebounds, no assists, did have 3 fouls. But he was +3 in the game. So not only are you, when you play Asa, you're not just playing a player who's not ready. You're taking a player who's playing very well off the court. So you're taking a player who is actively helping you win games off and putting a player who's actively helping you lose games and putting him on. That's crazy. I gave this analogy earlier in the day, but imagine that I had a concussion. And I went to the doctor and I said, hey doc, my head's really hurting because I've got a concussion. He says, well, what gave you the concussion? I said, well, I hit my head on the wall. Boom. He says, okay, don't do that. And then I go back to the house and hit my head on the wall again, just for fun. I go back to my doctor and I say, hey coach, doc, I still got a headache. Well, did you keep hitting your head against the wall? Yeah, I did. Maybe stop doing that. Next day, I go home, hit my head on the wall as hard as I can. Go back to my doctor. My head still hurts. I wonder why. That's what Quinn Snyder's doing. We're losing games, not changing nothing. The only thing that changed tonight is that we were all healthy, so Kennard didn't play, which I've been calling for weeks. And we actually were in this game for the majority of the game because we didn't have to play Kennard. Maybe if we also made a positive move of not playing Asa and giving Mo, who's playing very well, more minutes, we could actually build a lead for once. That's crazy. Every game, what actually happens is we start playing pretty okay, then we put in a stupid lineup, like let's say at the end of the first quarter today, when the game was tied. After the first quarter ended, start of the second quarter, we play a very dumb lineup that's got Keaton and Veet and Asa and no Jalen, no Trey. That's the lineup we thought was a good idea to put on the floor. And when we did, it got obliterated. Who'd have thought? And there you go. Now we're having to work from behind for the whole rest of the game. Maybe if we didn't put ourselves in that scenario, we could actually have a lead, play with a lead, and maybe win a basketball game. That's crazy. And it's been something I've been talking about for weeks. If you've been listening to this podcast, which I hope you have, please, I love people who tune in every episode. I love the comments. I appreciate you guys. But when you've been tuning in, and I've been talking about even when we're winning, that we're making these decisions that make our lives harder. Well, now we're playing teams that are good, and they are taking advantage and kicking our teeth in. I don't get how every person I hear talk says, I would do this. And it's what I'm saying do. Saying, I don't think Asa is ready. I think Kennard shouldn't play. I think Keaton shouldn't play. Every single person. Find me a person online who's actually, ingrained, watches every minute, watches the Hawks, knows what they're talking about, and actually thinks that these decisions that are being made are smart. And I'll show you a person who's out of their blooming head. And somehow, our coach agrees with that person. Because apparently he thinks these moves are smart. Playing Keaton, playing Asa, playing Kennard. He must think they're genius. That he's the only one who can see why they work. Well, everybody else sees they don't. And it's what's going to get him fired. Moving on. Pete Kresge played 22 minutes. He had 11 points on 4 of 9 shooting, 3 of 7 from 3. He had 4 rebounds and finished the game -4. Veet played pretty well. He shot the ball pretty poorly in the fourth quarter, but overall, it was good. Veet has been playing well and deserves minutes. Congratulations. Maybe only play the players I can say that about. Nickeil Alexander-Walker played 32 minutes. He had 15 points on 14 shots, 2 of 5 from 3, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers. His 2 turnovers were really bad, really ugly ones. And he was -6. Now, no offense to him. He's been playing great. But he does have occasionally, it's like once every 5 or 6 games, he has a game where he just doesn't shoot the ball well. He's human. That happens. I do think today was a lot of him pressing because he was on the floor with lineups that weren't working. And when you are kind of seen as, one of the primary offensive guys, and you're on a lineup that's not working, you're going to press. And, when you're Trey or Jalen, it's okay. You still play really well. When you're Nickeil Alexander-Walker and you're not quite that level of offensive player, you don't play as well. And that's what happened tonight. I don't hold anything against him. I thought the defense was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't fantastic. It wasn't an A defensive game from all, but it wasn't terrible. But it was most of the lineups he got put on the floor with for the majority of the night that I thought were the hindrance to him playing well. Moving to starters, Zach played 20 minutes. He had 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting, 1 of 2 from 3. Didn't record a rebound or an assist. I don't like the way the NBA calculates rebounds. He has a bunch where the ball's in the air and he tips it to a teammate because he knows he's boxing the guy out and they're kind of battling for it and he could go up and try to get it, or he's like, my teammate's got nobody around him. He just tips it to him and that counts as a rebound for the teammate. I think that's stupid. You should give a rebound to the guy who tipped it, in my opinion. And he does a lot of that. The rebounding is better when Zach's on the floor, but he doesn't always have the biggest rebound stat next to his name. But he does help the rebound department go better. And the defense was really nice tonight. And it didn't matter because he was -18 because he shared the floor a lot with a different player who we're going to get to, who played really, 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 really bad tonight. Worst game I've seen him play all year, kind of bad. But yeah, I thought the defense was fine. I thought the rebounding was fine. He needs to shoot the ball more. He only had 4 shots in the whole game. I think the coaching staff is hurting his confidence because he's just not playing with the same level of confidence he did last year. I don't know what it is, but I hope he gets it back. Next, we'll talk about Dyson. Dyson played 36 minutes. He had 8 points on 4 of 6 shooting, 0 of 1 from 3, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 turnovers. Not a good enough assist-to-turnover ratio. Didn't play well enough on offense. More of the same issues we've been having with them putting centers on Dyson and him not being able to punish it. I am starting to be very concerned that he is not a starting level player because the offense is so bad. And I would like to see us make a small change where Naw is the starter and plays with the starters because he unlocks so much giving space to Jalen and Trey. When he is on the floor with them, they become unstoppable. And a lot of our big offensive runs, when we were putting up spurts of points, when that was happening was because those 2 guys were on the floor. And so I do think that he should be a starter. And I think it would be very beneficial to the team to have Dyson coming off the bench because name a bench player in the NBA who's scoring on Dyson Daniels. He would make that bench lineup be just unstoppable defensively. And so I would love to see that. I think it would really, really help with what we have, a few of the problems we have right now. But the big problem, again, is playing players who can't get stops and have not shown the ability to play in a manner where we can be successful with them on the floor. Okay, now we're going to move to Onyeka. Onyeka had 12 points on 5 of 16 shooting, 0 of 5 from 3, 8 rebounds and 4 assists, and was minus 15. Onyeka struggled to rebound. Onyeka struggled defensively. Onyeka struggled with his efficiency. Onyeka turned the ball over. Onyeka had a rough game. A really rough game. Like his worst game of the year kind of rough game. And I don't think that's indicative of who Onyeka is. But in a game where we are actively, as our coaching staff, making decisions that are anti-winning, one of your best 5 players cannot have as bad a game as Onyeka had, and you stay in the ballgame, and thus we got blown out. Do I think that's an indictment on Onyeka's future with our team? No. Do I think that sometimes his height is an issue? Sometimes. Do I think that it's as big an issue as people try to make it? Absolutely not. I just think he really had a rough game tonight. I think Kel'el Ware gave him some issues. And I think that overall, he's exhausted because he's being overworked, because we're, again, not making certain decisions I think that need to be made. And also, he's just not been playing up to snuff. Now, moving to the 2 players I feel very, very sorry for. Jalen Johnson had 24 points on 10 of 17 shooting. He was 1 of 6 from 3, but he had 9 rebounds and 10 assists. He did have 4 turnovers and was minus 5. But again, when you're playing the majority of your minutes with a guy who just had his worst game of the year, plus minus isn't going to be great. Jalen played fantastic. There were moments of this game where he was an absolutely unstoppable force. He passes the ball very well. He rebounds the ball very well. The defense at times he just had a few lapses, but overall it was better. We just got to clean up those lapses. He's got to keep locked in. If he's not locked in, we have real issues because we're playing lineups that can't get stops in the first place. And then when your guys who's supposed to be able to play defense is really not locked in, it gets really bad really fast. And they went on a spurt in the fourth quarter in a time where he was not really paying attention on defense and really locked in on defense, and that was a huge issue. And lastly, Trae Young. Trae had 30 points on 8 of 16 shots, so he was 2 points off of a perfect efficiency basketball game. He was 9 of 9 from the free throw line. He had 2 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 turnovers, and a steal, and was minus 1 in the game. Trae played absolutely masterfully. He has been masterful for the entire time he's been back in, and because of his losing streak, nobody knows it. And so I am starting to become really frustrated because I see the potential in this team. I see the ability to win these games, and I see the decisions that we're making that are making that impossible. Tonight was an impossible win because of the decisions that were made that would put us behind the 8 ball. You cannot continually make yourself handicapped. I talk about it all the time, but it's similar to Usain Bolt. Imagine you're Usain Bolt and you're trying to run and win the 100-meter dash in the Olympics. And you're training as hard as you can. And you know you're doing everything in your power to train and be perfect. But at the end of every day, you take a little sliver of your foot off. You cut a little sliver of your foot off. After 4 years, you're probably not going to be able to run in those Olympics. Well, that's what's happening right now. Over an 82-game span, every game we're just going to cut a little bitty piece of our foot off. It's fine. Just an itty-bitty little piece. After 82 games, you're crippled. That's what's happening right now to the Atlanta Hawks, and it's not okay. So, moving forward, we got some rough ones, boys. We play the Knicks tomorrow in a back-to-back. That'll be fun. Then we've got the Thunder. Then we've got the Timberwolves. Then we've got the Knicks again. And then we've got 2 games against the Raptors. Which I would pretty much bet because we just lost to a team who's 1 game above 500 and didn't have their 2 best players. If we lose all those games because we're not going to make changes, we're proving that. That'll be 11 straight losses. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Let me know what you think about all that I've said today. Give me your thoughts, what you would do, what changes you would make. because obviously changes need to be made. When you're on a 5-game losing streak, probably want to change something. Seems smart to me. Let's not keep hitting our head against the wall. We already have a pretty severe concussion. So, like, comment, subscribe. Again, let me know what you think. Do all the YouTube stuff. Tell a friend. If you enjoy the podcast, send it to somebody. If you enjoy what I have to say, send it to somebody. Let me know, how your Christmas was. I want to hear all that stuff. All the positive things that happened in you guys' life, I want to know too. And like I always say, above all else, I hope you have a great day.